the show. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. A whole lot.
No. Hola.
Every
Whole lot.
Friday, every Friday, every Friday.
Hey, oh yay, everybody.
Hey,
It's
Friday.
Friday.
We gather every Friday at 6 o'clock. We've been doing this for over a year. It's My2Cents. We talk about a variety of topics, and everybody, trust me, has their own unfiltered opinion. It's an awesome day. Yes, honey, you are chosen. Welcome back to the show.
Will I am.
William.
The Cougars' favorite.
Yes.
We not talking about killing. We talk about
He's
killing
back.
either.
Look, you heard Roy. We ain't talking about Killian.
No.
Right.
Oh.
Right.
Our 50 plus women's demographic just shot through the roof. It's gonna be
It's gonna be
Glad
our
to be
best
back.
ratings. It's gonna be our best ratings in about 3-4 months, boy.
We missed you, William. You better make sure you share this on your timeline. That's all I'm asking.
I'm telling you. Protection for protection.
And keeping the same energy, Creighton coach finally suspends
Finally.
finally McDermott. But I understand y'all been going back and forth about this story for a few days now. And that you have completely different polar opinions about whether or not he should have been put on suspension, fired, kept on board. I'm not really sure who I agree with.
For me, I'll carry it over from the last story. If you look at the ranks of NCAA coaches, Division I coaches, you do not you take out the HBCU coaches that are Division I, you basically have little to no black coaches in the major ranks of college basketball, and there's a higher level of scrutiny of those coaches when they do. You take somebody like people who've trained under Krzyzewski who can't seem to see the light. Same thing. It's like this barrier to entry. Then you got to do like McDermott, who has the audacity to use plantation, like in a terminology when you got more than half your players are black. Nah, adios, my friend.
Yeah, I think
here's
Urban
the-
Meyer. So
I
that's
think-
how you can get away with stuff. Urban Meyer should have never made it to the NFL.
Oh, that's a whole nother boy. That's deep right there.
And then the
That's
dude
next
he was
week's
going, and the dude he was going to hire until public opinion hit. You know, he's like, oh, it's not
Right.
the best interest. So how can you consider that? So that's
Right.
where your mindset at. For you to
Right.
even consider that, and the public have to say,
Right.
oh, no, don't do it. And be like, oh, it's not our best interest.
Right. But you knew that.
Don't have me
You knew
straight
that
up
when
fingers.
you were even entertaining him.
Exactly.
We covered that
Exactly.
story.
It's the same mindset.
Yeah, and but here's the thing. I've always obviously respect Miles's opinion, and I actually talked to somebody else and several people about it, and they were like, "It's a bad choice of words," and I'm just like, "Well, the Bible talks about as a man speaketh, so is he."
Accountability,
Right.
baby.
Yeah, and it's about being accountable. And then when you take a head coaching job, you have a responsibility to those young men to make sure you coach them up, right? You're trying to show them how to be young men. But then you use plantation in the same, like, hey guys, we just lost, but hey, I can't need you. I can't have you guys leave the plantation. Not all of y'all. Like, when we think of the word plantation, that's just such a negative.
Right.
Word.
It has a negative connotation.
It's
It has a negative connotation.
and I can't give a man a pass because he made a mistake. Because the reality is that guess what?
I would have never said nothing about no plantation.
Well, we would have.
So why is that? I would say
You
island.
know,
I don't
but you
need
know
y'all to
why?
leave the
You know
island.
why though? You know why?
Yes,
Your
because you
first word
felt you
choose.
wanted to give him the pass, Miles. Please explain to us why he should have gotten a pass.
Truly.
Well, it's not necessarily a pass,
That's true.
Ms. Marcus, in the sense
That's true.
that it's not necessarily a pass in the sense where I don't think that he should be disciplined, reprimanded, suspended to a certain extent. My thing was when we talk about just the level of, I think that in all instances, the punishment has to fit the crime. Now, if we're talking about him saying, if we're talking about somebody saying, you N-words don't leave the plantation. Now we're talking about something totally different. Hold on, Roy, I'm not finished.
But
Hold on.
nobody says
but my thing
plantation
is,
to anybody.
plantation
here's
is
just
the thing,
one
though.
thing.
when you think of plantation, when I think of a plantation, the first thing that comes to my mind is slavery, right? But as a black man, that's where my mind is gonna go. And I'm not giving him no pass to say
No,
to
wait,
say that
finish
he's
that
not.
statement out. Finish that statement out.
Right.
As a black man, that's where you go. So where do you think his mind went when he was saying it?
And all your players are
To
what?
a bunch of black men.
I don't think.
Right.
But see, that's
the
where,
only way that
listen,
I don't think
listen,
that
April, listen.
there's
Listen, April,
nothing
that's where,
positive about a plantation to anybody
not.
for anybody to say it.
Of course not. But April,
Right.
that's precisely where the disconnect in the unempatheticness is in his statement. The fact that he
Ain't
can't
no
relate.
disconnect.
The fact that he can't.
Ain't no
No,
disconnect.
there is. There's a fundamental disconnect.
No.
Or we wouldn't have to continue to have these conversations. There's a
No,
fundamental
I mean,
disconnect.
No,
There's
no,
always
there's
going to be a fundamental
I'm thinking
disconnect.
that
There's a privilege. That's
I'm
a
thinking
privilege.
that
I agree,
That
man.
part.
I agree.
using plantation is something that's used in his world. That word, right? It's not used in our world because it has a negative vibe, right?
Connotation. Yeah.
So to him, it may not be as negative because he they owned it. They was the one rulers on the
Right.
plantation.
He's the
They
owner,
won.
and
It
these
was
are
it
the
was
slaves.
the masters, right? So it doesn't.
Exactly.
It's not
Exactly,
nothing
Roy.
negative to
I
him.
agree
So
with you.
it's not a disconnect. It went right where it was supposed to go. I'm the
Right.
coach, and y'all need to stay y'all
Mhm.
ass right here with
And
me
if-
at
Well,
this game.
here's the
and if-
other
So
part
he
too,
could have
though.
said island, like y'all stay on the island with me, stay in this stadium with me, stay
They on the team. How about that?
right here on this page.
Right.
Let's all get on
Right.
the same page. I don't need y'all leaving
Right.
the page.
About.
Like
Well, here's the
plantation,
other part that I wanted to back
that's
to
too
what
much.
Miles said. He talked about how the punishment
Exactly,
fits the
Tia.
crime,
I
but
heard that
here's
they
the
call
thing though. When we
Bahamas
talk about
shutters, and
punishment,
that's what I'm
how
calling
many
the ones
times
in my house.
how many times have black folk been put in
Yes.
jail and been
Yes.
punished for
That's
something
what
they
I was
didn't
gonna
do?
say,
So
Roy.
that's why you
That's
can't
what
say
I
the
was gonna
punishment
say.
fits the crime. It
You know what I'm
doesn't
saying?
work.
Exactly. I
I
agree
mean,
with
but
you
Don't
on
let
that.
Roy,
Ebony start talking about it.
Because
Don't let Ebony
that
start.
that
we
Don't
don't
let
get,
Ebony
we
that
start.
don't
analogy
get
ain't gonna
second
never work
chances.
because we
You don't
always
get
We
the
over
don't get
opportunity,
second
Miles.
We
Hey, I
always
visit
chances.
over
my dog
punishment.
Latif on here. I
You
visit
know,
Latif
we
right
don't
here.
get
Listen.
second chances.
Well,
When
listen,
we
we
mess
we
up,
wouldn't even get the
when we
first chance to
mess
even
up,
We don't get the
coach.
first
That
chance.
part,
We wouldn't even
We
got
don't
the
get the
first
first
chance to
That's
even
chance.
right.
coach the team.
Right,
And guess
right,
what?
right.
The
It's
It's
assistant
not.
just,
coach.
it's a
Got
wrap.
caught outside of
Because
the
here's the thing.
Moreover,
Wait a minute,
had he
but
said the
here's the
word
thing.
concentration
If
camp, he would have been fired off rip.
Thank
It would
you.
have been no
exactly,
question,
Right.
and
Thank
I
no
was
you.
gonna
problems
say,
asked.
That's
had
right.
roles been
Thank you.
That is
reversed,
true.
had
Thank
that
you.
been had that been
Thank
a
you.
black
Go,
coach, and
Ebony.
he would have said, "Oh, you little cracker boys need to stay here." Do you think he would have
Goodbye.
still been coaching?
No.
Like, come on, come on,
Nope.
like cut the crap, cut the
Well,
crap. Yeah,
but
get him out
but
of
I
there,
think
and y'all start the hiring process.
Hey,
Start the
hey, hey,
hiring
Give,
process.
give that black man that $500,000 salary that he making right now.
Amen.
well,
You
but
can't
I
say
think the other
Espérate,
thing too
espérate,
is
I love
espérate,
you, Miles.
espérate.
Espérate.
but I think the other part
For
too
real,
is that
get him outta here.
as black
He
folk, why
chose
are
the
we
word
so
because it was fitting.
forgiving for stuff like this? You can't be
Exactly.
giving for something that you first of all you wouldn't even get the
Exactly.
opportunity for.
Everything.
No, you're not gonna
Exactly.
get that
Yeah.
opportunity.
It
You're not
was
gonna get that
he
Exactly.
chose
So
the
I
word.
Get him
can't
out of
just
here,
On
coach.
to the next.
Like I said, man, I
Sometimes
think
you have
it's
to pay for what
I
comes
think
out
it's
of
a
your
poor. I think it was a poor choice of word. I think there should be some retribution. I just don't know if I stand on the side of where the gentleman where
cancel
McDermott should be
culture.
fired.
I'm
I
sorry,
just
bro.
don't
No,
know
I
from
love
there.
you,
Listen,
but this
I'm
time you on
gonna
the wrong
I'm
side.
gonna go back to what Ebony's root anger is coming from. That's just like with Mike. What's your boy name with the dogs?
Vic.
Michael Vick.
What's your
Michael
boy
Vick
name?
I'm gonna need you to know that
Vick.
last name, April. I'm gonna need you to know
Look,
that.
just like what happened with Michael Vick, he didn't do it,
He wasn't even there.
but he wore it. He wore
Exactly.
I'm
still
not
won't
gonna.
give
We're
him
not
his
gonna.
time.
I'm not. Listen.
There was
Man
no
did time and they
crime,
still
but
won't give
he wore it. He
Here's
was
what's,
Yes.
April, to be
here's what's
honest with
wild
you,
about that, April. They were just protesting
and
Mike Vick in Orlando last week for doing
Yeah.
an autograph
still to this
signing.
day.
And the man did time.
To this
You know what I'm
day.
saying? That's crazy.
And what else do y'all want from him?
Listen,
See what I'm
that's
talking
crazy.
about?
And,
See what
and,
I'm
and
talking about?
Ebony is going to ride out about Ben
Exactly.
Roethlisberger or whatever his name
But
is.
did you hear what?
We had a really good conversation about the platform of Black people in shining a light on discrepancies, things that are not equal. And the end of the conversation, it was brought to their attention that being pro-Black, being this unwavering supporter for right, does not make you hate anyone else.
Right.
Wanting Black people to achieve, to move forward in spite of all of the obstacles has nothing to do with you wanting to hate or denounce anyone else. But let's stay in
Look
New
at
York.
Shannon.
Let's
You
let's
don't
stay
see
in New
Shannon?
York. Let's
I
stay
would
in New York. Let's
I
stay
would
in New
say
York.
this. I would say this,
Shannon
Ms.
said,
Watkins. The fact that you even have to defend that position, that says a whole lot.
Okay, Senator, let's go here. Let's talk about what else is going on in New York.
Yeah, so Eric Adams is has now been elected and soon to be sworn in as New York's second Black mayor ever. You know,
Ever.
shout out to David Dinkins, who was number one, but Eric Adams was the Brooklyn borough president prior to prior to being elected mayor of New York, and so comes in. Uh, people are think that he's going to be this person who kind of brings folks together because he's been in law enforcement, but
Yeah, I saw
also has advocated for Black Lives Matter. So we'll see what his administration brings. But also in New York,
that. Right.
the Manhattan DA is now a Black man. The
Mm-hmm.
Brooklyn DA is a Black person.
Mm-hmm.
We already knew about the state attorney general is a Black woman, and now the U.S. district attorney for New York is also a Black person. So New York has become like legal Wakanda.
that is funny.
So,
Right.
Hey, we
Wakanda,
just need that to come
Wakanda
below the Mason Dixie
forever.
line and
yeah.
go into Brunswick, Georgia, and do the same thing
So
Ooh.
one person put out a
because
tweet
all
talking
three of
about
them finna get off.
if white folks get in trouble in New York, y'all about to go to jail.
Not jail.
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 I love it. I love it.
Jail. Well, congratulations to all of those who were elected in New York.
Yes.
We look forward to
Big up. Big up.
change.
Big up. What?
And then Captain was coming. Captain coming. Captain coming.
Hey,
Captain coming.
hey,
Captain coming.
hey,
Captain coming.
hey,
Captain coming.
hey, hey.
Cat-
Do anything, I'm not gonna try to set them off in any way, shape, form, or fashion because,
No,
like the quote says, everybody's facing the battle, man. And it's not just with them, but just with anybody. I just try to be kind and give a person the benefit of the doubt because at the end of the day, you just don't know by you being kind whose life you might have saved,
Right.
and it could have been it could be your very
Your
own.
very own.
Could be your very own.
So
Well,
that gentleman's name was Daryl Brooks.
Yeah, mental health has been a big issue in the forefront of our community, especially since the pandemic. Well, it's been nationwide or worldwide. The mental health has come to the forefront. So a lot of things that we would just throw off because we had a normal life, what have you. A lot of people were dealing with all those things came out during the pandemic. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that stuff might have been dormant because you just never know how people have been affected, where they could have lost a job, a house, spouse, family member,
Exactly.
children, health, finances. Then you put on top of that, okay, now we're gonna combat that with, oh, hey, who's vaxxed, who's not vaxxed. Okay, what about Black Lives Matter in the mix of all that too?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And they have to deal with people that don't have any empathy for them. Like,
right.
Yeah, and I think
That
that's the part
horrible.
that's most pressing, TT, because at the end of the day, it doesn't cost you anything to be kind, or if you're gonna shoot somebody down, to shoot them down in a humanly way. Nah, brother, I don't have any change. Or
Miles, he might have been defending himself when he drove his car through all that.
Yeah, we're not going
You know,
to that, Jerry.
you know where I'm going with that, right?
Yeah.
He might have been just defending himself.
You're right. You're absolutely correct, Roy. It was a self-defense deal.
But
Oh my gosh.
but that dovetails into the whole thing around Ahmaud Arbery, right? Like it, you know what I'm saying? Like we wouldn't be in this situation. That brother wouldn't be dead had people just applied these same principles that you're talking about, right? This dude's running, minding his business, and here these folks go jumping to, wayward assumptions. But,